So over the last few months now, I've been trying the multiple streaming softwares from OBS, StreamLabs, and now Meld. I just wanted to kind of share my overall experience between all of them. Things that I've noticed, like some of the things that for me personally as a content creator who utilizes streaming as also a way to convert it into content, like what I'm doing right now. I just wanted to kind of talk about, in my experience already, what I'm kind of liking and disliking from certain places. So a little bit of backstory. I've been using OBS for 8-9 fucking years now. As long as I can remember that I found it. I've had no problem with it. Absolutely no need for me to move away from it originally. I liked that it was a little bit more stripped down, and I really like that plugin, what's it called? Atom, and then the multi-stream plugin as well. I like utilizing those because I have way more control on OBS. That's why I personally have preferred OBS. Now, as of recently, I've been having problems using OBS to stream, and specifically to multi-stream. For some reason, it started shutting down my Kick stream. So something going on with OBS in the way that it encodes or streams to servers, way above my pay grade. Anybody that has comments on that can help out. But something along that line kind of screwed me on using Kick. So I used OBS Studio, used it for a long time, started having these problems. I was literally forced to stop using OBS. So I went to StreamLabs thinking it was like 100% a completely different thing. With that being said, over the last month, utilizing StreamLabs, I didn't have problems until this last week, which we'll get into. But one thing that I immediately loved from StreamLabs is with the Ultra package, paying for their like service, you can not only stream wherever you want, it's cloud service. And the reason why that's so important for a lot of creators is whenever I was multi-streaming on OBS, every output that I was creating, it was essentially making my computer create another stream. So if I'm streaming to Kick, and then I choose to also stream to YouTube, the second I start the YouTube stream while already streaming on Kick, my computer, instead of it just sending out one 8,000-bit 1080p stream out into the internet, out into the fucking void, it starts two. So now I'm running 16,000 bit. Does that make sense? My streaming computer is now processing more information to distribute that stream. One key thing that I do like about StreamLabs is they use the cloud. So I send one initial stream and it distributes it everywhere. Now, the caveat to this is, what I've learned that I dislike about this is if I am multi-streaming, but I want to do something a little bit more special on another stream, I am confined to being live across all platforms once I hit go live. I do like that on OBS, because it is a third-party plugin and you control those own sources, which, by the way, another plus with that as well is I could make YouTube 1440, I could make Kick 1080, and I could make Twitch and other things that for me and my brand and where I bring things don't really matter. I could turn those down to 720p, and I could control the frame rate on those too. So I did like that. I liked that I could change things differently, because one issue that I have right now multi-streaming with StreamLabs is because I'm running 8,000 bitrate to YouTube and to Kick for the quality. On Twitch, it doesn't allow that. So then it bottlenecks the stream on Twitch, and I'm only getting 720p on Twitch anyways. So the crashing was a recent issue. Apparently OBS Studio has got a better update now, and so does StreamLabs. Hence how we're live today, and the stream has not shut down. But with that, we added the third experience, which was Meld. Meld is really fresh. If you've never heard of it, their whole pitch is they're like this new streaming software that declutters a lot of bloat. It takes way less resource. One thing that immediately I did like about Meld is, you know how I mentioned the OBS Studio stuff earlier, how I loved the simplicity of it? Meld's even like more simplistic. So the best way that I describe this is, and anybody that knows like different phones is gonna know what I mean. And for people that don't, it's gonna go over their fucking head. StreamLabs to me is like the Apple. It's very, like, there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of fancy things, but like, you can't control a lot of stuff within the software. You're really confined. Like it is like, hey, we offer this, but you're gonna follow the way that we put it together. OBS is like general Android. It's like Samsung, where it's like you have more control, you have less clutter, but it still comes with some shit. And to me, Meld is a Google Pixel. It is a stripped down. When I install it, I have no fucking shit on it. It is a raw fucking canvas that I can like build and structure. They all have their benefits in each direction. So that's just that, like, for me, that's just like how opening up Meld, that's like how I felt. I was like, damn, this is like literally just completely stripped. And I love that. Okay, so the things that currently right now I'm experiencing with Meld, it's kind of a big thing, but not really, is like we just had text-to-speech in chat. Meld does not have their audio channels set up to where if you need to monitor something, like, so if I need to be able to monitor my alerts, if I need to be able to monitor my my text-to-speech, so that way I can hear it on the computer, if I don't have a mixer or some kind of mixer software, like if I don't have a Go XLR, if I don't use like Voice Meter or SteelSeries Sonar or a Rodecaster, if you can't control channels either on a mixer or your computer, then you can't listen to something on the software and not have it output twice. And it's very, you can't monitor any audio on Meld unless you want it to play twice. In order for me to be able to hear my alerts on Meld and monitor that audio or cue that audio, if I don't have a mixer, it plays the audio twice. Once for me and once again for the audio and stream. In OBS and StreamLabs, you have an easy fix with that by simply hitting monitor mute output. Now, see, this is what everybody's starting to do. Everybody's starting to say, Beacon, use this, download this. I disagree with that. I don't think if you're going to make a software, I don't think that's how you should be making your software. You should not have to download a third-party thing to fix what they should just allow. Just download more RAM. Shut the fuck up. By the way, I had a horrible fucking experience with Beacon. I'm never touching that fucking shit again. And Meld knows this, by the way. One thing that I'm loving about Meld, one thing I'm loving about StreamLabs is both these companies, they're out here talking. To me, that's huge. We were testing Meld yesterday, and we had one of like the head individuals of the platform that works on Meld, was in chat helping us, not only helping us, but was taking these notes. I'm going to report this. I'm going to report that. Another downside to Meld right now, they don't have MP4 recording. That's on the way. Oh, and I should say too, they're looking into fixing the audio thing. Okay, well, actually, here. Upsides. So 2 upsides with StreamLabs and Meld is the auto dual output that's built into it. You can do both horizontal and vertical. It's also good to note that a plus side with multi-streaming with Meld is if you keep the streams to different platforms in the same
I agree with not needing to download. This is why I don't really like watching on YouTube. Why should I get like 5 extensions just to have the same experience I can get on Kick?
That's a very good point. That's why I don't encourage any of that shit. People all the time are like, hey, if you just download this plugin, this person made this, and your experience on YouTube can be similar to Kick and Twitch. I don't do any of that shit because I feel like we should force the platforms and the softwares themselves to innovate and be competitive, just like everybody else. And that's my thought on this. I've never been a big fan of like, oh, you want to have this experience that this service offers and they're competing with somebody else? Download a third party. No, I would like to put pressure on these individuals to do a better job. We're talking platforms, we're talking streaming softwares. I'm not directing that at any individual. And the case in point from that is, like what I just said, Meld was literally in here and they're like, oh, these are good notes. We need to make these changes. I think that's a great fucking mentality to have.
If you download my recently released Only Ads, then you too can enjoy any live stream service like it was Twitch.
This is why we don't get taken serious. This is why I don't make $10,000 paychecks on Twitch, guys. This is why my out of all the multi-streaming, this is why my Twitch streams don't do well. Because you guys are immature. Let's focus up.
Just pop a titty. Twitch will boost you.
Guys,
easy peasy.
So again, I like that Meld and StreamLabs both offer a dual output option. Meld has the ability to where as long as, so if you're streaming to YouTube, Kick, and Twitch, if your bitrate and resolution match, it only takes more internet resource. It does not take more computer resource. So Streamlabs and Meld are both really good on the idea. If you don't have the best builds, if you need a multi-stream, those are going to be your better places to be able to do so. Because again, in the OBS Studio plugins, you're creating multiple outputs. Now, however, the only downside with both Streamlabs and Meld and the dual output feature to where you could do horizontal and vertical, which I just want to point out, it is a huge W for streamers. It just takes way less resource, way less haggle, and you could just conveniently be able to stream to YouTube Shorts, TikTok, yada, 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 to like funnel people over. The caveat to that is neither Meld nor Streamlabs offers a recording option in that. I don't get that. I think that's a huge red flag. I don't know why Streamlabs. Meld is like one thing, they're just getting off the ground. I don't understand why Streamlabs does not have that. That to me is crazy. And what I mean by that is if I set up a dual output to be able to stream to TikTok and vertical and do horizontal, I can't record the vertical. No, Meld does not. You cannot record both at the same time, gamer. And they are aware they're gonna be changing that. So like you can only record one or the other. You cannot record both. That's a problem. Creators like me, dude, the amount of time that I would save in being able to just hit clip and do both, it's huge. And the reason I know this is because on OBS you can. When you do the plugins on OBS, you can. Guys, it is a fucking life hack. You guys realize how nice it is to be able to set up a vertical screen and a horizontal screen, and you get a clip, and automatically you have a horizontal 90-second clip and automatically have a setup vertical clip. It is fucking amazing. The OBS plugin with the ability to have more control is light years ahead, both Streamlabs and Meld currently in its ability to clip. One thing that I learned about Meld, which makes it special, that a lot of people don't know this, and it's good to point this out because I was even ignorant to this, is I'm hearing a lot of people say that Meld has resource issues, that it's causing bloat on their computer, cause their stream to crash, and, which I thought was like crazy because they advertised the idea like it doesn't take bloat. It's like one of the least intensive things to stream off of. Well, what I learned from Sage was I set up my stream wrong. So Meld has this feature when you go to set up a scene. So like, let's say this is the base scene. So let's just take this as like this is the first scene that I made on Meld. I got my cam here. I got my overlay here. I got, audio tracks, everything. I got alerts, like if you were to do alerts and stuff, TTS. Meld has this interesting thing called the duplicator. When you go to create a new scene, so say I wanted to make this scene now, what I would want to do is instead of copying my alerts from this scene and copying TTS from this scene and pasting that resource, take a duplicator and it takes that overlay from the other scene, so you're not adding the resources within Meld. Does that make sense? Because for every scene that you make and everything that you add, every additional layer, every additional transition, every additional, like, that is just more resources that you're just stacking and stacking and stacking. Outside of the audio stuff currently right now, I'd have to say if you have a cheaper rig or you're running a single PC setup, right now, Meld, as long as you learn to set up the duplicator, like set up your scenes that way, it's going to be the better option if you have like a cheaper PC to set things up. That's the reason, by the way, that some of you guys are experiencing like huge bloat, is you're not taking advantage of how to set up Meld the right way. Also, too, he did note that there's currently, there was some like AMD feedback that AMD was having some problems and they're with CPU usage, and they're fixing it. Again, I can't stress enough that I really respect both Meld and Streamlabs. I got to get credit where it's due on both. I tweeted out about Streamlabs crashing the other day. I didn't even tag them, and within 30 minutes, they're on my tweet and like, hey, we're gonna try to fix this. And then the head of the team over there literally reached out to me and was like, can you give me your experiences? Can you tell me what happened to a T? Were you multi-streaming? Were you doing this? They want to improve. Same thing with Meld. Meld, I was doing this, setting this up yesterday. I was like, what's going on with this? Next thing you know, like guys from Meld are in here trying to trying to figure things out. Now I know I'm blessed to have that ability to have that interaction. I get that. But it doesn't matter. They're still in here. I think that's huge. StreamLabs OBS will be like Mozilla Firefox as they've been around for longer. Just because you've been around longer doesn't mean that you're automatically just gonna be the faster riser. Because also too, when you have a previous system in place and you're constantly trying to build off the foundation that you have, you're kind of confined around the system that you've already built off of. You can't just completely start from scratch. So not only are you trying to update and adapt to how everybody else is adapting in the world of social media, but also too, you got to do that, build off the foundation that you have. I feel like Meld actually kind of has the upper hand right now because they're so fucking fresh and their shit is so stripped. And the foundation that they're building everything off of is so workable that like, I feel like that's why they're pushing these constant updates. Guys, I mean, in the last few months, just seeing like people talk about how Meld was versus how it is now, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. But it's good to point out that I like to talk about all three of these streaming softwares across the board of not trying to play favorites because right now, no single one is perfect. And that forces each other to challenge each other and innovate and be better, and making it easier for streamers to be able to create content and stream is, I think, the number one priority for these streaming softwares. So like the reason why like I'm kind of rooting for Meld right now is I think there are so many content creators out there. Like we reacted to that clip yesterday of the girl saying like the cost to entry to be a creator is insane. My $10,000 paychecks are not covering what I do. The streaming software in itself, especially seeing the opportunity with OBS, the streaming software in itself can save creators thousands of dollars in clips and content and editing. They really can. Guys, I mean, the amount of time that it takes just the average person to do something simple, like take a horizontal scene and convert it into a vertical clip as well. Like, it's not hard, but it takes time. And when you are in the world where time is everything and you need to get clips out there, and like this secret recipe to all this shit is really clip farming, which is to like be on TikTok, Snapchat, Shorts, Instagram, everything. The faster that you can do that, yeah, I mean, it takes 30 seconds, but that adds up every single fucking day. But I'm telling you right now, if me and you go head to head for 100 days straight, trying to push out as much content as possible, and you have the mindset of like, oh, it doesn't take much time, I'll just edit it, and I have the software that does it for me, in my 100 days, I'll have way more output than you will. So overall summary, OBS, StreamLabs, Meld. I like the plugins to OBS. You have way more control. I hope StreamLabs and Meld takes inspiration from that. Meld has a couple things right now that they just small things that they need to fix, which they're clearly wanting to work on and fix. If you have a lesser build, I would say Meld is probably going to be one of the better places for you to go right now. If you can afford the $30 a month, StreamLabs is going to be really good for you because, again, it's good to point out that you do have to pay for that cloud streaming service on StreamLabs, which that is a caveat. Like some smaller creators don't have the funds to pay for that right now. But also, too, I don't want people to turn away from investing into themselves as well. I don't want people in this industry, if you want to be taken serious and you want to make your job as simple as possible and you want to get as many eyes as possible, you might have to start investing $30 a month into something that will help make it easier for you. Like, these are things that you should start assessing. So, I mean, those are things that you got to assess. Either way, all good streaming softwares right now. It's just, fine tuning everything. Just my experience.